Okay, thank you. My name is Georgia Court. I'm the proprietor here at Bookstore Number One, and we love to do our poetry, and I particularly love these poetry open mics where we see members of the community and they get to strut their poetry stuff. So I'm very much looking forward to it. The way this will work is I'm going to call you up one at a time just based on where you signed up, okay? And when you get to the mic, be prepared to read one poem. I think most of you have been here before and realize it should not be more than, let's say, 2 pages. You know, we don't have time for the Odyssey, even though we all love it. So those are kind of the rules. And once I call you up, please come to the microphone and spend maybe 1 minute telling us about yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? How did you end up in Sarasota? Why do you write poetry? Or any of the above. Whatever you want to tell us about yourself, please feel free to do that. Okay, our first reader is Owen Hodge. Owen, would you please come to the mic? And by the way, just move this most people are taller than I am. So just, move it this way and I think you'll be able to accommodate you. At least if it doesn't fall out. Okay.
Well, I'm Owen Hodge, and started out in New Orleans, then Cincinnati, and been a lot of places. And the thing is, when I go someplace, I really like to look and just look and see what's there. So this poem is about just one of those looking moments.
Owen, I have to stop you for a minute. Could you be as fairly close to that microphone when you
Okay.
read? Thank you.
Sorry. So this poem is about one of those moments, looking actually in a place not so far from here, and I go back there once in a while. It's called Enoch Light. Hard to spot driving past the billboards on Highway 41, but easy walking along or on a bike. A loosely graveled makeshift parking lot behind the bushes, and then a half-grass dirt path curving out of sight into the trees. Some tire tracks on that path for sure, not a long path, and 3 or 4 minutes walking time on the concrete floor of a doorless, run-down 2-car garage, an abandoned heap of several dozen naked, warped LPs. No album jackets. The decomposing record labels still manage to announce Stan Kenton, Ralph Martiri, Woody Herman, Les Brown, Ray Anthony. Presiding at the crest of this mid-century big band vinyl hill, Enoch Light and the Light Brigade. Just about all that's left. Entangled in the vines and branches, the adjacent 4-room, 1-floor house has been completely emptied out. Not in the garage, on the short paved walkway to the kitchen door, spread open at the title page, a single hefty volume, the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, Sogyal Rinpoche, 20th Anniversary Edition, the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying. I took a photo with my iPhone camera. Today, about 5 years have passed. The Tibetan book is gone. The parking lot, the path, the empty house, the garage, but not the road, not the roof. The vinyl, the vines, all still there. Enoch Light and the Light Brigade, illegible, but still there.
gentleman who just arrived, do you plan to read?
No, I just want to check it out for
Just
now.
checking us out. Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good thing. We're happy to have checker-outers.
I'm
Okay, okay, great. Our next reader is Paul Dean. And Paul, and remember to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. You put that mic perfectly.
Oh, great.
Well, Paul Dean, I'm from Venice. I grew up in Western New York. I went to grad school at Binghamton. Used to do jazz radio on NPR. And I taught English at Pineview until I retired. That's in Osprey. This poem is called Halloween. Or actually, it's Halloween 2. I don't know what happened to 1, but here's 2. It snowed that Halloween. My daughters had to wear parkas over their costumes as we sludged through the slush. I went out that night as a ghost of John Keats in my black cloak and red consumption. All the women thought I was a vampire, and they flirted with me shamelessly. They didn't realize that I loved Beau Brummel's niece, and that I would be buried in Rome within a year. So thank you. You know who the niece was? Fanny Braun. Fanny Braun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next reader is Wendell Carter, and I'll leave the mic up.
Good afternoon.
You may need to raise it even higher. Okay.
Is that better?
Oh,
That's
that's
better?
better.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Wendell Patrick Carter. I'm originally here from Sarasota. Graduated Riverview High School. Went to Florida State University, and I played in the National Football League for 10 years. I'm going to recite my poem here. Well, let me back up a little bit. I came here in April and did an open mic, and I've been inspired ever since. I've published a book in October, and I'm publishing another one in January. So this is one of the poems from the next book. It's called 60s Babies Had It Best. Born in the year of 1966, a turbulent time, civil rights in the mix. Integration had just began. Equality was the plan. After school, full of glee, the Flintstones was on TV. No remote, the channel changer was me. Saturday morning cartoons, we don't move till noon. Parents yelling, clean your room. Our music was on LPs and 45s, 8-track players when we drive. Must admit, a great time to be alive. When the grown-ups all talk jive. Brothers and sisters wearing afros. When it got cold, drinking hot cocoa. Talking the latest slang. And don't forget, we drank that Tang. Jaws kept us out of the water. Talking back could get you a slaughter. Then Atari came along, and everyone was playing Pong. Occupied, no cell phones. Street lights flicker, got home. Couldn't wait to be grown, but being grown was overblown. We thought we had it rough back then, but I'd trade today to go back again. Thank you.
Thank you. Abby Carish, come and join us at the mic.
Hi, I'm Abby Carish. Let's see, my background is basically art making and art teaching, but in the early 1960s at Brooklyn College, I was on a literary magazine, Landscapes, and I ran into a friend from that time who wanted to know, after reading some of my poems for the last 40 years, why I wasn't publishing them, why they were stuck in the drawer someplace. So he encouraged me to start to pull together a book, which is still in process. It's not out yet, but have to eliminate some of the hundreds of poems. So this is actually a recent poem, very short. Swept into the vacuum, so many words that fell to the floor uneaten. Even the dog can't smell them. They nourished no one but me. They nourished me in the telling. I grow fat with wonder how so much amounted to so little.
Scott Levis,
Live.
L
L-E-I-B.
L-E-I-B.
Yeah, my
Sorry.
penmanship is. Hopefully my poetry's better than my.
And my readership is also, well, come on up. And you are new to us, so please
Yes.
tell us about yourself.
Yes. I am a graduate of Riverview High School, class of '76. And I went to a small college, met my wife, got married, moved up north, had a career, and have just recently retired and come back. And it's good to be back. Love Sarasota. My poetic roots go back to Robin Williams, the Dead Poets Society, and that's what kind of put me on a road of falling in love with poetry. And one of my goals in retirement is to not just enjoy it, but also to dabble and write it. So the title of this poem is Milton. Milton. Milton's cat rose on all fours, flowing air from high to low. Picture taken from the sky, beauty hides its forceful blow. City bracing for the worst, nature shows its fickle fate. Centrifuge has lost its heat, feline limps with wounded gait. Most came home to sweet relief, others suffered from his claws. In the quiet of his eye, gyre causes all to pause. Milton.
Tanya Young.
Thank you, Georgia. And thank you for continuing to have all these wonderful poetry opportunities. We really do appreciate it in this poetry world. I've been writing seriously poetry over the last 7 years. I retired here from North Carolina, from the coast of North Carolina, and much of my work reflects that, as is the piece I'm going to share with you today. Hardly anyone says Lordy anymore. And the dictionary says it expresses surprise or strength of feeling. Now here's my thoughts on the Southern News. Aunt Sugar is sitting on a wide shaded front porch, hand resting on the glassy arm of an old brown rocking chair. She's eating apple pie on a blue flowered china plate, iced tea by her side, the sun, small and pink, dying in the distance. Lordy. There's Uncle Thunder stretched out in the bottom of a wooden, sun-bleached boat, seeing nothing but the sky, hugely blue, and a flock of geese breaking in and out of formation, fluid as laundry on a line. He's dreaming of slow songs you could dance to all night, all those shiny quarters that went down the throat of the jukebox. Yes, drifting where the breeze takes him, a floating pod with his body inside. Lordy, he shouts, Let me die right here. Down the road, Cousin Lottie Bell is serving little cucumber sandwiches made with white bread with the ends cut off, the crust saved for the lavish supper for the birds, angels meditating on the kitchen floor. The cousins sat around the table that's fed 7 generations, covered with a linen cloth, needlework old and faded. 5 pink camellias float in a glass dish. A fan whirls overhead. Boards on the floor, liquid with sunshine. Lordy. Aunt Snooky drives by in a 61 Buick Skylark. Cloud blue and well traveled. A ding on every corner, but nothing serious. She's in a cornflower blue dress, lace at the neck and wrist, gardenia scaling down her left sleeve, and a spasm of scent. Sweet Lordy. She passes Uncle Zippo, barefooted in a business suit and tie, breathing in the earth and grass, his chair leaning against a blooming magnolia tree, cat curled at his feet, the sun hanging over his shoulder. Across the field, the peaches waiting to be picked, heavy with juice. Lordy. Aunt Fanny's screen door is open. Her daughter Precious is inside, looking at the books resting on a small table by her mother's bed, where she slipped away when no one was looking. A shimmering. Lordy, the roll is called up yonder. And here I am, here in this old hammock, lazy rocking in a stab of light. Insects singing their hymns, honeysuckle blooming, a breeze of sweetness. Wildflowers talking to leaves on antique grass, while nature slyly winks, sending me bluebird after bluebird. Air swarming with hope. Sun like a lidded eye, the hours forget to pass. Lordy, I have left the leaving. Thank you.
The gentleman had just arrived. Would you like to read?
Absolutely not.
You got my hopes up.
That was fantastic. I just came to listen. Thank you.
Good. Okay, you know, we have time because we haven't had not a huge number of readers today. Anybody like to read a second poem? And if so, we would go in the same order. So let me just go down. Owen, do you want to do a second one?
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. If you're not ready, that's fine. How about Paul Dean?
Yeah, sure, I can do it.
Okay. And Owen, if you change your mind, just let me know. I'm just going to go down the list. And you'd like to read?
Not the second, but in a few down.
Okay. All right. Okay. Come on up, Paul.
Okay.
This is a pretty short lyric, but blade of my heart slicing through the slumber of the day. Blade of my heart rusting against the stitches of time. Blade of my heart dissecting the distance between here and there. Thank you.
Short but pithy is always good.
Not bad.
No.
Plus it's memorized.
Oh, that helps. Wendell, would you like to do a
Yes.
second?
This poem is called Reminder, FSU Tight Ends. Allow me to reintroduce myself. Pat Carter stood out during his time there. Others are more decorated, that he's aware. Others wore his number, billed as the next great. Errors are different for the fans to debate. FSU ran the eye and the ball. He blocked the 6 solo, standing tall. But his master technique was reaching the 9 and getting the sweep. But blocking wasn't all he could do. He could catch the ball and make a play or two. His dependable hands were of limited use, but Coach Bowden knew when to turn him loose. So don't allow his numbers to define, because he caught the ball and he whooped behind. If you watched him running up the seam, the first FSU tight end on an All-American team. I'm gonna say this with a huge grin, and he's the only one in the league for 10. So Pat Carter ain't no mystery. Folks just don't know their history. Thank you.
Owen? Okay. Come on up. Yeah.
So this is well, really, seriously, it's my take on the Old West. All quiet on the Western Front. High noon, 2 men walking slow. 6 guns blaze in the frontier town. One stays up, the other goes down. Till sunset, laughing boys run about, spreading the news with a whoop and a shout. Trespassers moon, a glowing sliver. A little girl starts to shiver, tries not to cry. Frontier night, no one to call. The floorboards creak. Father is coming down the hall.
Abby, did you want to do a second?
Yes.
Okay. Come on up.
This kind of started from the up-tumble from the hurricanes. Then it changed. This is giant oaks upended. Their roots, shameless, bared to the sky. I turn away, having seen what is hidden. It is how Helen, naked, splayed open her legs, relinquishing her body before she died. There are things better kept secret. How we hold on, how we let go.
And Scott. Second one from Scott. All right.
Yes, I have to read this after Abby read that one.
Okay.
So it took place in my backyard. 3 oaks. 3 oaks stood in the yard as sentinels. Their drooping arms formed heavy canopy to shade the singing wrens from blazing sun. Those sturdy trunks like beams support the scene. One autumn eve brought in a gale force wind. We listened as the trees strained limb to limb. The morning light revealed a startling sight. One mighty beam had fallen in the night. The leaning log had formed a jagged stump. What once stood strong was now a hollow core, a place of canker root where beetles bore. What once was hid, the storm had now exposed. On closer look, there had been some warning signs. Some limbs had dried and sprightly leaves had died. This live oak taught a lesson about life. Corruption starts within and spreads toward death.
And Tanya,
I'll pass on this one.
gonna pass? Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to read?
Sure.
Okay, tell us your name.
My name is Brian
Okay, last name?
Schoenberg.
S-C-H-A-M.
Schoenberg. And you got my first name right? That's good.
Okay, well, that's a start.
Yeah. Hey, some people spell it brain. I accept it.
Brain.
Yeah.
That's a good spelling.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about myself.
Right.
It's been a while since I've written anything. I'm normally with my hands and my feet. I'm a drummer, but I also like to listen. I like to read and I like to speak. So I haven't read this one out loud before. Beats normally come from my brain to my hands and my feet. Breath was the first drummer. My heart beats like bouncing on a ride. The wind knocking the chimes. Breath was the first drummer. I hear music all around. Thank you. I'm good for now.
You're good. Okay, great. Well, I want to thank all of you for coming. This has been like a terrific holiday gift to hear